Hello traders, good day to you all. This is Christopher Glen. Today it is the 25th of August 2014 and this is a daily market review for the current market status. We can see that from the beginning of this trading session we had a bank holiday in England. We were expecting to see low liquidity on that area, but on the other hand we had a lot of announcements which isn't that common in Mondays. Just to talk a bit about what we had last week, the closure of last week on Friday, we had a lot of liquidity. We had the first of all Yellen's speech, and beside that we had the European Central Bank President Draghi's speech. We saw the euro losing strength in the market, and we saw the dollar gaining an enormous amount of strength, and we will see that from the dollar index in a second. Before that, we've received a mixed announcements regarding the Canadian dollar. I can tell you that this morning the Canadian dollar was among the strong currencies, but still the dollar was significantly stronger than all the other currencies. We had the Jackson Hole symposium at Saturday, and before that, even on Friday, we had another session over there. Let's go to the current chart, today's chart, and again, not typically for Mondays, we saw that this Monday was pretty liquidized as the German announcement delivered bad announcement regarding the German market, regarding the euro. We haven't seen the DAX affected out of this announcement because of other issues that we had in the market. We had problems in France, for example, when the Prime Minister, to resign from the government, and obviously that expressed weakness. But generally we can see that the euro is a bit in the middle today, not so strong, not so weak. It began as a weak currency but joined to the middle during the trading session. We've received bad indication regarding new home sales, regarding the dollar. I was expecting the dollar to go into a corrective pattern after the impulse movement that we've received earlier on Friday. Later on this day, we've got another announcement regarding the New Zealand. I'm expecting to see weakness on behalf of the New Zealand, but I'm not so sure if that weakness will appear out of this announcement. Looking back into the past announcements, several announcements that we had, we can see that this is indeed an indication that will not deliver the accurate forecast. Usually we've got change in the aspect of the indication itself, and the expected reflection of the New Zealand is weakness on behalf of the currency. But again, I can't really make a statement whether that will appear from this announcement or from other announcements. So at the moment I'm staying away from the New Zealand. Let's go to the chart. First of all, let's go talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow at 1:30 we will have the first important announcement regarding the US dollar, the core durable goods orders, and after that we will have the CB consumer confidence. Very important indication. I've been talking about this indication for a while. I'm expecting to see downtrend on the consumer's confidence indication. The past indication was 90.9 and right now the forecast stands on 89.1. Now, as I said, I do expect to see lower indication on behalf of the confidence over there in the United States. Therefore, I'm expecting to see lower digit, lower figure over here. Therefore, I'm expecting to see a bit more weakness on behalf of the dollar, additional to the one that we saw today. Let's go to the chart. So on the chart, let's go first of all to the dollar index. As I was saying, the dollar gained a lot of strength during last week. Just to remind you, from this area I was expecting to see strength on behalf of the dollar. I was talking about this strength at the beginning of last week, and indeed we can see this significant stronger dollar. It was expressed as a downtrend on the euro versus the US dollar. It was expressed as a downtrend on the pound versus the US dollar. It was expressed as an uptrend on the dollar Swiss franc. The strength of the dollar in front of the majors isn't it's something that you can't really say that you can't see in strength on behalf of the dollar. It's just amazing to see the dollar continue its strength, although we've received very long uptrend movement since the beginning of last month. Just been talking about the structure itself. We received the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4 sideways corrective pattern, and right now we're forming the 5th wave, meaning that I do expect to see long, strong downtrend corrective pattern on behalf of the dollar. Just logical. We had a session over here this morning. I was explaining the logic behind the impulse movement and a corrective pattern. Let's go over that again. Impulse movement are strong liquidized movements. Think about psychology, think about traders, think about money invested in the market. At some point, traders will pull their investment out, will lose their faith in the dollar. And usually what happens is that once we've got such a liquidized movement, this one or this one, or this one that we had at the beginning, the initial uptrend movement that we had on the dollar index that began this 5-wave uptrend movement, eventually when traders see a bit of weakness, then they will pull additional funds, and by that they'll cause the market to lose an additional strength. Again, we can see that appearing on other occasions, and once we're completing the entire 5-wave cycle, then we're expecting to see long, strong corrective pattern. Long in terms of time, because corrective patterns are usually longer in terms of time in front of impulse movement, which happens instantly and with a lot of liquidity. Let's go to the commodities. I've been talking about the gold dropping down, and indeed this uptrend movement on behalf of the dollar reflected a downtrend movement on behalf of the gold. I've been talking about $1,250 per an ounce as a target, as a first target, and indeed the market is approaching that level. Let's look at a longer term of analysis. As you can see now, why have I been talking about the $1,250 per an ounce? Because we can see a 5-wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 uptrend movement, and we can see an A, a B, and a C corrective pattern that I'm expecting to complete the structure approximately at 1,260, 250 logical pullback, and then I'm expecting to see an additional uptrend again. This additional uptrend, meaning a weaker dollar in the market, meaning a stronger gold in the market. That is the logical reaction of the dollar in front of precious metals, and that is the assumption according to this structure over here. A bit more downtrend toward the 1250 and then climbing back up again. Usually I'm analyzing the Russian ruble, the Turkish, and the South African rand. We can see this very condensed movement that I've been talking about continuing its uptrend movement. Right now we can see this sideways corrective pattern. Sideways corrective pattern indicating that at the moment the market is in a confusion area. I'm expecting the market to break this channel down, and I'm expecting it to bounce a bit on this level before breaking it again toward a lower support and resistance line. It's a very, very condensed area to break, but generally I'm still in a perspective of an A pattern, a B pattern, and an expected C pattern to drop down. I see this chart falling down. I see the Turkish currency gaining strength simultaneously as the dollar is expected to lose strength, just as I'm expecting the Russian ruble. Over here I've mentioned that I'm expecting the Russian ruble to gain strength in front of the dollar. We've received the initial impulse movement. Right now we're forming a corrective pattern, and after that I'm expecting this chart to continue its downtrend movement as well, meaning that I'm expecting to see strength on behalf of currencies in front of the US dollar at the moment, while we've received the first impulse movement on behalf of the dollar index, and I'm expecting to see this chart dropping down, expressing weakness on behalf of the dollar, completing its uptrend movement and going into a corrective pattern. Also, the South African rand is in a potential to drop down. Let's look at other currencies. Let's look at long-term investments. I've been talking about the euro versus the Japanese yen. Let's see where it is. There we go. So I've been talking about the euro. That's daily chart. It's a long-term analysis, and over here I've been talking about a potential for downtrend movement. Indeed, we've received the initial downtrend movement. I'm expecting to see long liquidized movement on behalf of the euro, downtrend movement, and generally I'm expecting the Japanese yen currencies to gain strength in the market. So generally, I'm invested in the euro versus Japanese yen for a short position for a downtrend movement. Another good position. Let's see what we've got over here. Nothing important. Let's move forward. I can tell you that on behalf of the European area, let's just get over there in a second. There we go. Okay, so on behalf of the DAX and the CAC, the French market and the German market, we've reached some sort of an exhaustion level on the stochastic, while the RSI is still fluctuating around the 50 level, indicating a potential for downtrend movement. We've received an uptrend movement today specifically, but generally I'm expecting this chart to fall down. I'm expecting the DAX to fall down. I'm expecting the CAC to fall down. Maybe tomorrow we will open the the European session with a gap of a downtrend movement. That might be the case. Generally today we can see the market is still climbing back, but that's a corrective pattern after an impulse movement that we've received on both indications, and I'm expecting this chart to continue lower. It's a difficult area at the moment, no question about it. I might be wrong on this assessment, but I went for it. I went for trades against the DAX for downtrend movement. I'm still waiting for the market to diverse and to continue its downtrend movement expected from the indicators that I'm using to analyze the chart. Over here I mentioned that I'm expecting the Dow Jones to climb higher using the same indicators, and on behalf of the FTSE I got no indication over here. Actually we talked about that the market over there was closed today and we've received no indication, just fluctuation level around the same levels. Let's see if we've got something for short term on behalf of the Japanese yen. On behalf of the Japanese yen, we've got nothing significant at the moment. A good potential, no good potential over here, no there. No, not a good indication, but generally I can tell you that let's take the Australian dollar for the in front of the Japanese yen for a long-term analysis. Look at this. This is a structure, 5 waves of an uptrend. We've got the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5, and we've got an A, B, and C corrective pattern. After that, we've received another. Let's add the Elliott wave analysis. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is the longer analysis. I've been talking about this chart as well. Based on a weekly chart, I've been analyzing this chart. So let's go deeper into the retracement areas that we can locate, analyzing the entire downtrend structure. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave downtrend movement, and since then we've received the first A wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A wave. 1, 2, 3, that's an ABC of B wave, completing its structure over here. And since this area we've received the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. Meaning that at the moment, regarding the Australian dollar in front of the Japanese yen, and I'm analyzing the Australian dollar specifically because the Australian dollar is among the strong currencies that we've got today. In front of the Australian dollar, it seems like that the Japanese yen is in a position to catch strength in front of a variety of assets, especially in front of weaker currencies. And let's talk about weak currencies. Let's go to the Swiss franc, which is among the weakest currencies that we've got for the past week and a half. Swiss franc indication. Let's again go to daily chart. On that chart, we can still see a sideways corrective pattern, but the potential to see downtrend movement over here is enormous. Okay, we've received an uptrend movement. And right now there's a good potential to see downtrend movement that we have of the Swiss franc versus the Japanese yen. Generally, I see the Japanese yen gaining strength, again, not significantly, 200, 300 pips on each and every asset, significantly in front of the Swiss franc, and the expected weakness on behalf of the European area. Again, the European area, let's go to daily chart on the Japanese yen in front of the euro. We can see the same structure. As I was talking about this at the beginning of this session, a bit of corrective pattern, then beginning of a downtrend movement across on the stochastic, indicating good potential for divergence, and we've got a potential to see this chart dropping down. I wish you all the best with your trades. Have a pleasant day, and bye bye.